Welcome, everyone. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to this very important session organized by the World Alliance for Arts Education. Particularly because of this week, we are celebrating the International Arts Education Week. And for this session, we are going to reflect on the Athens Declaration that started, and it was a result of the Global Arts Education Summit in Athens in 2024, in which we're aiming to advocate for arts education. It is a great pleasure to introduce Smaragda Chrysostomou. She is Director of the Music Education Lab at the Department of Music Studies, University of Athens, and Director of the Postgraduate Program, Music Education in Formal and Informal Environments. I'm also very great to have here as well Clio Fanourak, Associate Professor in Theatrology, Theater Didactics, at the Department of Theater Studies of the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens. Just a quick reminder to those who have just joined the session. This is being recorded, and please, after the presentation, during the presentation, please keep your cameras and your microphones off. After Smaro and Clio's presentation, there will be a breakout rooms for further discussion. I want to also appreciate the support, technical support from Sanja Tasić. She's president of the IDEA, the International Dance and Theater Education, Arts Education Association. So let's welcome Smara and Clio. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Patricia, and thank you also to WAAE and Sanja for inviting us to, and we have the opportunity to show some of the information about the conference, even to those that were not there with us. And also we have the opportunity to discuss a bit more about the declaration that came up as as a result of all the conference proceedings and discussions and reflections that we had with all the participants and the organizations after the conference as well. So I would like to welcome you all, dear colleagues and friends from around the world. I'm very happy to see you here, and we will now, I will just share my screen so that we can start the presentation, and we will be presenting me and my colleague, Clio Fanourak. So you will be able to hear both our voices very soon. Let me put it on as a full presentation and let me know if you can see. Thank you again for being here. Clio?
So, the 10th International Conference of the World Alliance for Arts Education, titled Arts, Nature, Technology, Education, Harmony and Unity, took place with the presence of attendees from 42 countries and more than 55 universities, international cultural, educational, and interdisciplinary organizations, has led the foundation for the formation of the Athens Declaration for Arts Education by UNESCO, and has opened bridges for practical collaboration of research and social bodies with the aim of more substantial integration of the arts in intercultural learning environments and daily life.
I'm sorry because this does not allow the PowerPoint to show. We had very important people as keynote speakers, and the summit began on the first day with the keynote by Cecily O'Neill, a professor emerita from Ohio State University, with the title of her presentation was Makers of the Future, and continued with parallel sessions on the four arts and their interdisciplinary connections within the thematic axis of the conference. During the first day, the focus was on themes related to arts in education through the lens of inclusion and social issues, as well as the teaching of music, dance, and visual arts with digital technologies. During the afternoon, we had an opening ceremony with different performers and an array of presentations with voice, theater, and dance that explored the history of Greek music, theater, and dance through a performance of an ancient Greek paean, the actors that presented a part of Aeschylus' Orestia, Byzantine chanting, contemporary academic youth choir with Greek composers, and also dancing in the end, traditional Greek dancing by our colleagues from the Department of Physical Education.
Second day, the morning of Friday, featured a keynote speech by Professor Rhonda Bernard from Berklee College of Music about accessible arts in education. And in the afternoon, actor and director Vasilis Koukalanis represented the founder of the Grips Theater in Berlin, Volker Ludwig. On Friday, meetings of the international organization that comprised WAAE took place and were held as open forums for the arts of music, theater, dance, and visual arts in education. The second day closed with the official conference dinner titled Under the Acropolis, while the evening concluded Dance Under the Full Moon and melodies from different countries by the conference participants.
On the third day, the summit focused on public dialogue and documenting arguments for defending arts in education on a global scale, reinforced by the keynote speech of UNESCO representative Kelenk, who is the program coordinator for cultural policies and development entity, the culture sector. His presentation was the multi-stakeholder engagement towards effective delivery of culture and arts education. And he presented what all of the countries of UNESCO signed in Abu Dhabi, which was followed by a discussion of how this could be best implemented from different representatives of the arts separated in groups.
The triad of art, technology, and nature particularly engaged the research and artistic discussions and led to the development of significant interdisciplinary research and best practices, emphasizing the individual or the group and international experiences. All four arts discussed the harmonization of selfhood with identities, while fields of positive and humanistic studies actively conversed with music, theater, dance, and visual arts. Nature, technology, and arts education. Can you recognize them in this photo? This one. This was really animated during the summit by creative researchers, educators, and artists.
Apologies, I just skipped this. These are the indicative strands of the 2024 summit that Clio had just mentioned, and were the strands on which the majority of the presentations were developed around. So throughout the conference, performances and artistic events based on arts in education were held with dual research and artistic and social character. A significant event for research and practice in the field of arts in education that merged theory and practice and allowed the participants to discuss feasible ways of intervention through the arts in practice. Each day, researchers from different countries presented their posters in the main hall of proceedings, while they had the opportunity to converse at noon with the audience and participants. Also, over the 3 days, artistic activities, performances, presentations, and exhibitions from institutions and bodies of all educational levels took place. And the conference participants had the joy of enjoying children, adolescents, and adults in multimodal creations inspired by music, dance, theater, and visual arts.
As we can see here in each chart, we had specific areas and a large number of presentations in dance, music, theater, drama, visual arts, audiovisual and cinema, and interdisciplinary mixed presentations. And these numbers are in between art-based presentations, more practical or more theoretical. We had a mix of different kind of presenting for arts education.
Leo?
The results from the discussions that emerged from the working groups have been included in the efforts to co-formulate with the members and the organizations of WAAE, the Athens Declaration, on the occasion of the 10th WAAE Summit. Additionally, Saturday's proceedings emphasized themes related to mental resilience and health through the arts, arts for social intervention, the necessity of teacher training, the exchange of best practices internationally from preschool to adult education and lifelong learning. Specific themes per art unfolded subfields that concern the international community regarding the teaching of the arts and their multiple applications in the fields of education, health, community, business, and other fields.
So, how we came about the Athens Declaration. Following the presentation by Kelenk of the UNESCO's Framework for Culture and Arts Education that took place, as we mentioned earlier, during the conference, we had this extensive discussion by the different art-centered groups during the conference. 42 countries, 55 universities, all of the continents were represented during these discussions. And then we also called for different organizations in formal, non-formal, and informal settings to comment and reflect. We created a draft which was then discussed further with the individual institutions and organizations comprising the WAAE organization, and also we invited comments and reflections by Kelenk, and then we, in the end, we reached the declaration that you have seen published on WAAE site. These are the 2 pages of the declaration, which you are able to see, of course, on the site, and which we will be more detailed presenting in with the next slides. I don't know if anyone would like to comment or ask something related to the conference that was not clear, or that you would like some more explanation about the conference, what we discussed about the conference. or whether we should just go on with the presentation of the declaration. I'm sorry if I can't see if someone is raising their hand. So Patricia, if you see someone who has a question or something, please.
Not at this time.
Okay.
So I think we can continue.
Okay,
Yes, please.
we can continue.
So now we can go on with the points of the Athens Declaration, starting by empowering arts for personal and social growth.
So as you can see in this slide, these are the 6 main points that are on the Athens Declaration. You can find them as titles with bold letters, and then each one of these is further explained with a number of sub-points. So for the empowering arts for personal and social growth, we urge the parties that have an interest, local authorities, governments, countries, and so on, to promote arts for well-being, develop programs that use the arts to address social issues like inclusion, diversity, and mental health, to foster empathy and understanding by encouraging artistic expression as a tool for dialogue, reconciliation, and inclusivity. It is important to fight for democracy. This is a strong word, but we are in a difficult period in the history of humanity. Empower democratic citizenship and peace building through arts education, and encourage youth leadership. Because it is important to support students in leading arts initiatives that promote cultural exchange and social impact.
And then we go on with strengthening arts autonomy and arts integration in education.
Here we have more points. Advocating for each art form individually, because each and every art form, be it music or theater, drama, or visual arts or dance, has its own unique content, methods, and materials, and no art form can substitute another in education. And it is important to have specialist teachers to teach each art form in all levels of education. The integration of arts with other subjects is also something that is important to pursue. For example, through science and technology and engineering and math, STEAM, for example, and that could be used to boost creativity and innovation. But in order to do all this, it is important to support educators, to invest in teacher training and resources, professional development, to empower educators in delivering meaningful arts experiences. In order to do all this, of course, it is important to collaborate with cultural institutions and partner with museums, for example, theaters, concert halls, galleries, and artists to bring real-world artistic experience into our classrooms. And of course, encourage the community engagement to promote local arts initiatives through festivals and creative projects that extend learning beyond the school.
Expanding access and inclusion.
Here now we again have a number of different points. It is in order to make arts education universal, we know that every student, regardless of their background or location, deserves access to quality arts education from an early age. Also diversity. It is important that it is celebrated through arts. The arts are a universal language, and we champion diverse cultural expressions that foster understanding and global dialogue. Also, another important point is to encourage the integration of diverse knowledge systems, including First Nations and Indigenous knowledge, into the arts curriculum alongside the decolonization of research. undeserved communities and how we can reach them by supporting programs that target marginalized and disadvantaged groups, ensuring that arts education is accessible to all. And of course, the use of technology and use of digital platforms, VR, AI, hybrid learning models. It is important to leverage technology in order to make arts education more accessible, more flexible, and engaging, at the same time requiring an ethical, inclusive, and human-centered approach in their use.
And then we go on with advancing research and innovation in all arts and in the interdisciplinary and in all arts.
Yes, supporting interdisciplinary research by connecting universities, schools, and cultural organizations in order to develop innovative arts education methodology. To document and share these best practices by creating open access platforms to exchange teaching strategies, case studies, successful program models so that everybody can benefit from everybody else's experience, and enhance lifelong learning by expanding arts education opportunities beyond the traditional schooling age, including workplace learning and adult education.
Advocating for investment and policy reform.
This declaration is more than anything else. It is a policy statement, so it is important to advocate for the funding reallocation, investing in arts, and policy reform that will allow this to happen. So it is important to secure financial support from public and private sectors to provide the necessary resources and infrastructure to urge governments to integrate arts education into national curricula and prioritize its development, and of course, conduct research and share success stories to highlight the benefits of arts education and drive further support.
Transforming education through the arts.
And lastly, it is what we believe that can happen to transform education through arts. And in order for this to happen, we need to develop adaptable learning models that incorporate artistic practices for deeper engagement and understanding through the curriculum reforms and reforming also teaching methods. It is also important that to advocate for policies that guarantee universal access to creative learning opportunities, because every child has a right to arts education, and to demonstrate on every step of the way how arts education enhances cognitive, emotional, and social development, enriching lives and communities worldwide.
The implementation of the Athens Declaration constitutes a vital bridge of cultures, educators, researchers, artists from the global map with creative dissemination in international and domestic application of the arts in society and education. In what ways do you propose to communicate and disseminate the Athens Declaration to more people and institutions? And we would like to ask you and to discuss with you in order to identify at least 3 realistic actions that you can do per art in your locality to disseminate the declaration. So it is the timing to see if we can work in breakout rooms or if we can discuss here in the main session. If we like, we could all write in the chat the 3 realistic actions that we propose and then discuss on them.
Thank you, Smaragda and Clio, for this presentation, and also for all the work that was behind the preparation of the Athens Declaration, and of course, the enormous responsibility to host the World Alliance for Arts Education Global Summit. So thank you again very much. Sanja, our WAAE chair as well, that I forgot to mention. Sorry, Sanja. Can you let us know when the breakout rooms are
Yes,
ready?
we can start now. Just
We can maybe open 2 rooms, Sanja, because so that people can discuss among themselves, and after getting introduced, and we can discuss these 2 points that were in the last slide. In what ways would you propose to communicate and disseminate the Athens Declaration to more people and institutions, and maybe identify 3 realistic ideas that relate to your own country and your own context?
Okay. I have opened 2 rooms.
So if you could please join the rooms,
Sure.
and then we will just have 10 minutes maybe, and then we can come back.
Μαρώ, θες να πάω εγώ στο 2?
Okay, I'm assigned to room 2. Maybe you can go.
I am assigned also to room 2,
room
so
2. Okay, you can go to room 2, Clio, and
okay.
maybe Sanja can reassign me to room 1, so we can be in. Okay, thank you, Sanja. And we will, Patricia, we can come back in maybe 10 minutes or so. What do you think?
Yes, it is fine. Sanja, did you allocate it 10 minutes automatically, or should
I
we
can
send a
keep
reminder?
count. I can keep count and maybe come out and let you know, or you can keep count, Sanja, and just close the rooms in 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Smaragda.
still here. I have no any message for choosing a breakout room.
We cannot hear you, Sanja.
Elisabetta, you're in actually breakout room 2, and you should just
Okay.
join.
Okay. I was waiting for a message. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Did you find it?
Join breakout room. I pressed join breakout room, but Sanja, could you send me to the
Yeah,
room 2 maybe?
I will try.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know.
And I'm not able to do that, right?
Yeah, I don't know
Sanja, I
how
did
to
not.
do it. Put in I don't even know how to I can move you to room 1. Shall we try that?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, now, yeah,
Okay, super.
we did it.
Good.
Great. Thank you, Sanja.
Good.
I get nervous
Yeah.
when with this technology. Mhm.
So we are recording this. I don't know if we should turn off our cameras or something. I don't know. Maybe it would be good.
Welcome back. I'm sorry for the discussion to be interrupted, but let's keep it in time. And I'm sure there was a rich discussion about the challenges, but also the possibilities how to implement the Athens Declaration and to disseminate it. So I took some notes from room one, but I give the opportunity to Smaro and Elizabeth, and sorry, Clio, to share the thoughts that were shared in the rooms, or after that you can also, those who were also providing additional insights, to share those in this room.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, the time was limited, to tell you the truth, so we didn't have much time to hear the thoughts of everybody. I managed to write down a couple of ideas. The translation of the declaration in each country's language and the dissemination of that through the national organizations or art-specific organizations would be an idea. Elizabeth, who is the president of the Greek Society for Music Education, is onto that. She's doing it, and as we speak now, she's translating it into Greek and disseminating it in our country. Also, we had a suggestion from Vilma, who is not able to speak, so she wrote it in the chat. I hope that you can see it all. She's the president of the Arts Department of the Student Tech University, and she suggested we advocate a declaration with the director and ask for a meeting with all colleagues. No, I don't understand the last one. Also, no art docents. Maybe a native speaker can help me. What's an art docent?
In the US, an art docent is a person who represents like a museum and an orchestra and goes out into the community to schools or others to as an educator to talk about programs that those community institutions might have.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Jolly. And maybe it's in my chat because it was part of the chat in the room. But I can copy it and put it here as well. And Truth has started to talk, and then we were cut. So I don't know if you had managed to finish your thought, Truth, or you would like to share it here.
Yeah, I was talking about last year. I was in the team to rewrite the main goals of the art lessons, art education at primary schools and at the beginning, the first 2 years of high school. And lots of things that I heard from the declaration, the points. We also put it in our new main goals for the art lessons, art educations in Holland. It is in Holland. So and we give it back to the government, and the government said it was too broad. We make it some broader, but it's too broad, so we have to make it smaller again. And we're now doing that, and hopefully we can reach the level we wanted to again. But yeah, we were, as a team, we were very disappointed how much the government is going, how you call it, is interfering with it. So that's not so, it's not as, we were disappointed in that as a team. I hope I was a bit clear.
Thank you, Charles. Yeah, I think that that challenge is common across the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's how to as the arts education message is how we can stand up and be stronger on what we're doing. Thank you, Smaro. Clio, do you want to start?
Thank you. So we discussed about the members in breakout rooms too, propose to disseminate to students all around the world and to invite students to analyze the Athens Declaration. So we have their ideas and possibly we could gather it through digital technologies. And then to involve people from state governments and to have conversations and to explain the effects of arts education. And we also add how we can ask why they signed the framework in Abu Dhabi, but why they don't implement in the different ministries of education or culture. So this is a statement about involving people from the state government and through discussions and invitations. And then we discuss about applying for grants based on the Athens Declaration framework, and either to align with IB or courses of philosophy or different interdisciplinary courses or research programs, and to spread also the declaration in different kinds of schools and colleges in typical and non-typical education, music, theater, art. And to find a way to disseminate through the emails, through the different organizations, to send it everywhere. And you could also help me, Jody and Jemima, if I forget something. And also about sharing in different kinds of associations. These are our points.
Thank you, Cleo. We appreciate all these realistic actions that we can foster, that we can follow to disseminate the Athens Declaration and to also to approach the specific needs in our different challenges, different educational contexts. And so thank you.
Did Jody want to say something? Did you want to add something, Jody? No. Oh, sorry. I thought you left. Yes.
Please feel free to add comments or questions you might have, or you can raise your hands. Any other ideas about how to?
It is Vilma.
Vilma.
Says, approach the Minister of Education.
Thank you, Vilma. And it was also mentioned to approach the Ministers of Culture as well. We know that the UNESCO framework is also for cultural education, so it is important to also approach that. Have the Minister of Education facilitate the curriculum department to implement it. Thank you, Vilma. That's very important as well.
Can I just add, we have discussed in our room, and it was Joachim that initiated this thought that it is ultimately up to the politicians to implement or not implement, to support financially, politically these ideas. And it is true that there is this disappointment from the fact that these important ideas do not have the support of the politicians, the policymakers, decision makers. So it is difficult for us to figure out how to implement something without money and without policy backing this up. I consider this to be, though, the only thing that we can do to keep fighting and keep talking about it, presenting about it as much as possible and as wide as possible through the national and international organizations. I don't know if Joachim would like to add something, because our discussion was very short in the room. So I know that he has been part of WAAE for many, many years, and he has a large experience on these matters, being part of these declarations in previous summits as well. So I would like to hear your opinion, Joachim.
Well, thank you. Because, as you said, that's the most important thing, because we cannot change schools, and we can, of course, influence non-formal education. Yeah, that's a possibility, but it's not for all children, and not for everybody in the communities and in the countries. So I think it is very different from country to country, how to address politicians and to find ministers of education and of culture, of course, yeah, to at least see the framework. Yeah, in Germany, for instance, our 16 ministers of education, they have a common association, or not, an organization, ministerial organization. They have no official translation of the framework up to now. You know, of course, we have a German translation from the German UNESCO Association, but this is not the official way, you know. And as Germans don't speak English, so you can understand that's very difficult, yeah? And you need much, much more than 1 year to just translate a text. And yeah, so you can understand how far we are, even though it is 1 year ago, more than 1 year ago, how far we are away from implementation. And on the other hand, if you address, we talk to politicians, yeah, that's we are very used to that in our association, and they tell us, yes, we do, or we do since many years, and of course everybody answers, you know, it's really hard to do this, and we try, as you already said. I cannot add more. Just we try every way. And we know a politician by some, and then address him or her. And then, on the other hand, I gave, for instance, an interview in our in a big Zeitung. Sorry.
Newspaper.
Oh God, sorry. You see, English. Sorry. In a real big newspaper with one side of interview, and of course addressing the framework and implementation and these things. Yeah, this is more than half a year ago, and it's, yeah, I can only repeat what I already said. So it is not one way. That's important, that not to believe there's one way of implementing something we all have already decided about. Yeah, we all are members of UNESCO, and our governments are members of UNESCO, of course. But to try every way we see, we have, we can find, and so on. Sorry, that's not much, but I'm really always astonished how our governments accept, see, and do something after their own decisions. That's not new for you.
Thank you, Joachim. That's very important to still acknowledge all those challenges, and sometimes we don't have the communication channels with ministries of education and culture. But also, as you mentioned as well, we do have possibilities in our specific context, how we spread the word with the students, with other other agents that can support what we are doing. So thank you again. We're getting close to the.
Jemina and Jody, if they would like to analyze a little bit more about state government and the ways of disseminating the ideas that we had, Jody. You.
Well, I mean, since we don't have a national, well, we do have an education department at the national level, but we don't know really how long that's going to exist. I think that in terms of the United States, it might be, don't know, might be more beneficial to go and work at the state level with our state arts people who are involved in crafting the national standards and the state standards to find politicians. I'm just thinking of my own community work. If I were to want to disseminate information, I would go to the state Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. If I were wanting to share the declaration with people who are in charge of the prisons in our state, for example. But there might be other not-for-profits that would benefit from these standards as a way of supporting their work within the state. So not just schools and official state-sanctioned institutions, but also the not-for-profit world.
Thank you. And Jemina, would you like to combine how the framework itself helped in order to spread it and to use words and from the framework in order to spread with the different schools and music?
Yeah, I will share that I noticed a lot of the same vocabulary among the different frameworks that are being used around the globe. And so helping people make connections and understand that maybe a framework that they're using that's not the Athens Declaration is very similar. And so then being able to draw from that and say, oh, yeah, we're implementing concepts from the Athens Declaration as well. So helping to disseminate it that way. And I think the visual arts might be a little bit different as far as the fact that we do have a National Art Education Association that does an annual conference every year. So I think that disseminating the declaration through that space would be a positive step, because I do wonder how connected the president of, say, the National Art Education Association is. I am curious to know if they're even aware of this declaration. That would be interesting, because I kind of have a feeling they might not be, but I don't know for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jemina. Nosheen, do you want to share your thoughts?
No, I am just
thinking how, countries who are, as I mentioned last time, countries who are absolutely like my country, I'm from Lahore, Pakistan, who are so rich, like even South Asia, Asian countries like India and Pakistan, and Bangladesh. We are so rich as far as arts and culture are concerned. And in the modern and contemporary world, the majority of the people are just not by any means taken along with art and art education. So that's not the preference at all. So I'm just contemplating and thinking how that bridge can be drawn between, between the masses or between the people where visual literacy can become embedded into art education, where it ends up, becoming more global rather than, just a very specifically for specific population. I'm just contemplating about that. I'm really enjoying the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nooshin. Vilma asked in the chat, does not all countries have a representative of the UNESCO? It is my understanding that those that are affiliated to the only organization of UN, United Nations. So not a lot of countries are involved, have a representative. That's my understanding, right, Sanja? How can they be involved?
There is kind of, it's called the Secretariat for the collaboration with UNESCO in most countries that are members of UNESCO. And I think the majority of countries in the world are members of UNESCO. It's the biggest international United Nations cultural organization that exists. It has headquarters in Paris. But I think you should search in your own countries, where is this kind of institutions? In my country, Serbia, it is part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is where is their chair. This is the Secretariat for the collaboration with UNESCO. And you can contact them and they could perhaps help you with some actions or advocacy.
Thank you, Sanja. Okay, thank you, Joachim, as well. Adriana, do you have any additional thoughts that you want to share? No, we cannot hear you, sorry.
Sorry, I just want to say that Joachim used the right word, commission. I think in most countries it's like commission. In my country it's called secretariat or whatever, but it's a commission for collaboration with UNESCO.
Adriana, we can, your microphone is mute. You cannot open it? Okay.
On the moment, no, I have no answer, but there is an old saying that a little drop of water, when it goes on and on, will hollow out the stone. So I live a little bit longer on this earth, and it's very slow, and sometimes it's like a procession, two steps to the forward and one step backward, but go on. That's the only thing I know, and and support each other. That's important that we have hope and that we support each other. So that's it.
Thank you, Adriana. That's very meaningful to have that analogy in mind. Joachim, please go ahead.
Thank you, Adriana. And I just want to add, because you're totally right, and I want to add that what we need, what might help, is the collaboration of our associations. Our associations are active in our countries. We do have national associations for arts education, for music education, for theater education, and dance education, and other associations around. And we should try to collaborate better to push the governments. And that's a real challenge also. But in Germany, it's not like that up to now. Of course, nobody says no, but there is nearly no movement, no real movement.
Thank you, Joachim. I would add that not all countries have national associations. So it is also important to collaborate within each art form, each art discipline, and create those groups. And also, as you suggested, to collaborate among arts associations. So thank you all. We're taking notes as well, because as an alliance, an international alliance, we're aiming to have that kind of collaboration and also to spread the word within our own associations. So these ideas are very useful and meaningful at an international level, but also to spread the word and how to find ways on how our members, our arts educators around the world can use the Athens Declaration and implement it within their local context. So thank you so much, Sanja. I want to acknowledge as well Sanja's leadership as chair of the World Alliance for Arts Education. She has been wonderful to along this her term, and thank you. Bravo to you, Sanja.
Thank
Do you
you
want
so much,
to?
Patricia. Thank you.
Do you want to say anything else on
Yeah, I
behalf of?
just want to say from the 1st of June, Patricia Gonzalez will be our new chair of the WAAE. So we have this transition. So I'm just for a few more days. And thank you for your kind words. Really, Patricia, it means a lot. And I think we have been working wonderfully as a team. It is a team of 4 women that are representatives of the 4 arts education associations, for visual art, for dance, for music, for drama, theater education. And we just work together. We support each other. And I think this is so important. This is an example how it should be done.
You're right, Sanja. Smara, you wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted to find the thumbs up sign and I accidentally changed it. And just to acknowledge the change of presidency to you, Patricia.
Thank you. Well, thank you all. We appreciate your participation, your thoughts, and as the theme of this year, the International Arts Education Week, let's stand up and be strong, and let's continue with the dialogue and the collaboration. So thank you all, and until the next time we meet, let's keep the communication and collaboration going on. Vilma, you had a final comment. We should not forget to use the art forms to share these, organize an art event, and share these two sheets and hand it over officially to the minister and invite newspapers and leave a connection point address. Thank you, Vilma. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day, night, evening.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
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 Thank you all.
Gracias.
Thank you, Patricia, for a brilliant moderation of this webinar. It was great. Thank you so much, and also to
Thank
Clio
you.
and Smaragda for
Thank
their
you.
presentation.
Thank you for
Yes.
your
Thank
participation,
you.
everyone.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for being
Thank
here.
you, Smart and Clio.
Bye.
Thank you all.
You.
Bye.